Yeah, one of my favorite things as a practical exercise I ever did was I literally had scripts, and I mean handwritten, like I wrote scripts for how I wanted to feel when I experienced ego or envy. And so for every emotional challenge I had, something that I thought was an unhealthy thought, I literally had like pages and pages and pages of scripts that were built up from research, that were built up from spiritual literature, that were built up from science, whatever it may be, of what did I want to be able to say to myself when this thought or that thought came up. And it sounds so basic, but it really does rewire your thoughts when now all I can think of is that script.
Sure.
And I need to update that script regularly.
Sure. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm constantly
it's constantly.
upgrading.
Yeah, it's not once.
I'm constantly. I mean, 95% of who we are by the time of middle age is a set of unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. I mean, those are beliefs and perceptions that we have about ourselves and our lives. So, I mean, this is a never-ending process of self-discovery. I mean, there's always challenges that you'll have in your life that are going to initiate you into becoming conscious of what you're unconscious to.
Yeah.
And you got to meet those challenges from a greater level of consciousness than the consciousness that's created. And you can't, if you don't, your response in the way you feel and the way you think being the same, and if you believe that how you think and how you feel creates your life, if you don't change the way you think and the way you feel, your life's going to stay the same because you're the same. I mean, that's the way it works. So fundamentally, it's so important for people to understand that it is actually possible to change. It really is possible.
It is, yeah. I love that you keep repeating that because I think that's the hardest part where you've just, again, the broken record is I can't change, nothing will change. And not realizing that it's just a set of habits, it's just a set of routines that you've adopted as your reality.
And you're going to be uncomfortable, so get used to it.
Yeah.
And so you could either stay uncomfortable or you could actually say, how do I want to feel? Instead of memorizing this emotion, let me memorize this emotion.
Yeah.
Let me open my heart when it goes against everything that I've been taught and programmed to do. I mean, and that's really when it really begins to matter the most. So it's really an exciting time. And I'm so happy to see that people are wrapping their minds around all of this and doing it for themselves.
Absolutely. Have you found a difference, and I want to get a bit more technical here, have you found a difference between meditation with breath work and without breath work? Because I know you do both. And what do you find is the usefulness and benefits of either?
So we do so many different types of breath for so many different types of reasons. The breath that we were talking about with Inspire, pulling the mind out of the body, we do that breath to take that creative life force that sits at the base of the spine, that energy that can create another life form. The energy we use to digest a meal, the energy that we use to run from a predator. We're taking all that energy that's stored in the body emotionally, and we're pulling that energy back up into the brain. If you practice this breath repeatedly, there will be a release of energy into the brain. We have the data to show that you're going to have a lot more energy in your brain. You're going to be way more coherent in your brain, and you're going to be more conscious, right? And so why is that important? Why? Because when you regulate your brain waves, we don't want you to fall asleep. We want you to actually be really relaxed and awake at the same time. So we do this one breath called pulling the mind out of the body. That's the Inspire series, where we're taking all that creative energy and we're with the breath, pulling that energy right up to a specific area of the brain. When you do that properly, your brain will go into an altered state. That's the reason why we do it. Then we do all kinds of other breathing, like breathing to change the heart rhythm. Sometimes when we're doing a laying down breath, when we're practicing getting into that mystical state, just when the audience is just starting to move into a slower brainwave state, we'll do a very forced inhalation, exhalation, over and over again, like a hiker's breath, only so that the person feels euphoric. And so euphoric that they don't want to fall asleep. And they'll move into a slower brainwave pattern, and the door between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind opens. And many times there's a mystical experience waiting for that person that's transcendental. So we do all kinds of different breathing techniques because we have different intentions behind each one of them.
If people want to dive into those, where should they go if they want to kind of grab some of those techniques or get access? Are they only at the events?
There's an online course that we offer called the Progressive Workshop.
Great.
In the Progressive Workshop, we teach a few of those breaths. And if you come to a week-long event, you'll have an opportunity to do all of them. And we start at 6 in the morning, we finish at I don't know, Cancun, the last one we did, I think we finished at 8 or 8:30 every night. It was just a great group of people. And we go 7 days, and some mornings are a little earlier, but you got a lot of practice. You got a lot of tools. So by the time you leave, you can use them in your life.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, for anyone who can't obviously get to the live events, then the online course will be helpful. But if you can, go along to one of them.
And I think there's some good descriptions also in Becoming Supernatural, my last book, where we break it all down. And then there's some tutorials that we have on our website to help you with some of the breathing. Yeah.